Rise and shine, Wild Pack. It's Bernadette, and I'm here with your Sunday ceremony for May 2021. Y'all, there's so much to this morning's Sunday ceremony. I don't even know where to begin. But I do know this. I wish I was sitting with every one of y'all, and we were just having our tea or our kombucha or our morning mimosas, or my Mexican Coca-Cola every morning, coffee, whatever, and some nashis, and just kind of kicking it back and just talking about stuff, because that's really what this Sunday ceremony is going to be about. It's going to be about kicking back and just talking about spiritual stuff. But it's deep. It is very, very deep. So if you notice the thumbnail for this morning, I have discovered that I have at least 319 spirit animals. 319. And I discovered that at 11:11 last night, May 1st, 11:11. So angel numbers on Beltane. Beltane for, shout out to all my pagan witchy poo friends, all my druid friends, anybody, Wiccan friends, anybody that is, all my shaman friends that are moving with the natural rhythms of the earth. Yesterday was Beltane. And so at 11:11 last night, when the clock, once it clicked kink and it went to 11:12, I was like, 319 spirit animals. But you're also angels. And where I'm going with this, you might already know, but if you're just joining me, then you'll catch on. And thank you for joining us. And for those of you that follow all the time, oh my goodness, y'all, forever, y'all are my spirit animals. But so the Kickstarter that was going on for my new book hit almost $50,000 yesterday. By 11:11 last night, it hit almost $50,000, and you all did that. 319 backers pitched in and invested in your own spiritual growth by getting the book, invested in your own connection to the natural world and the spirit totem and power animals, invested in your own shamanic practice, your healing practice, whatever it is that the animal allies work with you on, you invested in that, and in that you invested in me, and in that you invested in my company. And I am, Lord, y'all, I promised myself I wouldn't cry this morning, but I thank you so very much from the bottom of my heart, because you see, for every dollar that was put in there, for every book that I can print, and then I can get out into the world like the Ark, if you all could see the emails and the messages, Facebook messages, that kind of thing that I get, you would fall over. I mean, even down to, I was contemplating suicide until I saw XYZ video, and it cheered me up so much, and it helped me to see things in such a different perspective, that I went and I finally am getting professional help now, and I feel much better, and so on and so forth, because I do, that's an extreme, but I have gotten a few like those. Also, with all 319 of you that supported the Kickstarter, there's another 24 people behind the scenes that help me manage everything that I do. From Joel, my video guy, for everything that he also helps me with, because he's the smartest guy in the whole world and an amazing, amazing marketer, and also a UCLA professor. So, and shout out to Maureen Jones for moderating. Shout out to Teapot for moderating. Shout out to Amy Pittman, who, without Moonbow, y'all, I'd be just face planted in my backyard with the critters crawling all over me, because she keeps me straight. Thank you to all my ancestors. I know this is about to sound like the Academy Awards where you're going for 20 minutes, but I did a gratitude meditation this morning. I'm sorry this video is running a little bit behind, but I did a gratitude meditation this morning. And so next weekend on the Sunday ceremony, I'll have a guided gratitude ceremony for y'all, that you can keep and you can do over and over again, because I don't know if any of you all have really looked into it, and let me get to that in a second. There are actually scientific studies behind what gratitude does to your brain. It's amazing. So I want to tell y'all some of that, but before we do, let me just say this. The work, the support that all of y'all have given, not only to the Arc Animal Tarot and Oracle deck, my deck, but to my YouTube channel, the readings, and now the book, that allows me to do work like, I was, I was invited to do a seminar via Zoom, obviously, for a group called Helping Parents Heal. It's an amazing group. They have tens of thousands of members across the country, and it's a group for bereaved parents, but their bent is finding healing and working through grief and all that kind of thing via spirituality. That can be mediumship. That can be, I mean, it can be all kinds of things. It can be psychic. It can be tarot. It can be crystals. It can be just, you know, it can be anything. They bring in a wide variety of speakers that do a wide variety of work, hoping that within their group that whatever that person does will resonate with them. So they very graciously asked me to speak with them this past Wednesday. And we started at 6:30, and I didn't stop reading for people until 11:30. And for each person, their child came through. Well, it was a larger group, but I read like 12 or 14 people, and for each person, in a very evidential way, their children came through. Now, they'd never seen anything like what I do before, because what I was doing was working with the animals of the Arc Tarot deck, and I would pull a card for each person, and that animal would talk to me and explain to me that correlation to that parent. And even something crazy, y'all. I have spent countless hours trying to figure this out. I don't know how it happened, but I've been reading. Here's my deck. Here it is. It's the same deck I've been reading with since I got it. And the only thing that I did was trade out a couple of cards that, you know, I don't know. I think one time I think my cat was on my desk and she knocked my water over. And so anyway, but it's the same deck I've had for a couple of years. And on this one pull, I pulled, and two hawks, y'all, came out in my hands. Well, it put me in such a state of shock. I floundered for a couple of minutes because I was like, how did this happen? And then I was like, duh, Bernadette, you teach this stuff and you preach this stuff. Here's how it happened, right? Okay. So for this particular mom, what those hawks told me was that it was a mating pair of hawks, and that her child had left behind uh, uh, a lover, or like a real serious lover, a boyfriend or girlfriend, or husband or wife. And sure enough, that person's child had passed over and left behind the person they were engaged to. Now, without you all supporting the arc, and without you all supporting the book, moments like that, certainly they would happen. Because I am an evidential medium. That's where I got my start in this business. But there's something about working with the animals that makes it so much easier and a bit more profound for people when the messages come from the natural world. It doesn't seem so oogie boogie woo to them. They can much more readily accept that the animal was talking through the cards, even though the hawk is the Ace of Swords in my deck, right? Okay. So in the absence of your support, in the absence of your kindness and your generosity, I don't know. I don't even know what would be going on. But you made Wednesday night happen, and you're going to make many, many more moments like that happen, because you're going to use the cards to read with people. You give me the ability to be able to get the work out to so many more people and bring them in closer alliance, and just synchronicity and all of those words with animal spirit guides. They're spirit totem and power animals, and they're just there's just not enough words or appropriate words for me to thank you for your generosity. So I thank you, and I'm grateful for you. Now, let's talk about this for a second. So I'm going to put the link down in the comments below, but there's this really awesome article on positivepsychology.com. Sorry, what else is new? I got a cat here on my face. And I won't go through everything today, but it is, these are based, everything I'm about to tell you is based on a scientific study or a number of scientific studies from credible universities, research labs, that kind of thing. So at the end of the day, gratitude will really affect your brain because it affects your neurons. And when you it, when I in everything that I've read about gratitude, what I what I feel like, or what I've seen, what I think I've seen, is that gratitude stimulates the reward center of your brain. And that's going to release dopamine and serotonin and all the things that make you feel good. But beyond that, gratitude also releases toxic emotions, which, that helps your limbic system. For those of you that are working to do professional mediumship, tarot readings, psychic stuff, whatever, um, that can be really, really helpful to you because it will help you calm down, and it helps you get your amygdala in a place where it can be a better receptor. Also, it when you're in a place of true gratitude, you can use it for pain management. Your sleep quality gets better, stress regulation, reducing anxiety and depression. And, so does that mean that it changes your brain? Well, your brain is plastic, and your brain does morph. It literally changes shape like Play-Doh during times of happiness, during times of stress, really during any time. So what I would really encourage you all today to do is to sit in quiet, or with your favorite meditation music, or, however you want to sit, and just do a gratitude meditation or gratitude exercise. And when you well, let me just say this. I'm just going to say this again. I'm not a medical professional of any kind, and I think I said the other day in a video, I didn't graduate college. Yes, I did say that in a video. Okay, hoopty, I didn't graduate college. But I wasn't going for a medical anything anyway. I was a performing arts major, for God's sake. So all of that said, um, but science has always been my jam. And so I believe that if you'll do this meditation, if you'll do these exercises, you're boy, you could experience a huge transformation today. Now, what I believe is, and this is a belief based on all the people that I've read to this point, which is way over 65,000 at this point. Um, Unhappy people, and I know you know them, people that are constantly unhappy, nothing's ever good enough, everything is everybody else's fault, the victim mentality, why can't that happen to me, so on and so forth, nothing is ever good for this. I know you've got a droopy dog or an Eeyore somewhere in your life. Everyone does. But that's a crutch. That unhappiness is a crutch, because mostly where that comes from is a lack of self-identity, a lack of self-actualization, a lack of confidence, a lack of, um, all of those things. And so that's their comfortable place. If they would, if you know somebody like this and you're trying to help them, maybe get them to do the gratitude thing with you. And it can be, that reducing sleep thing that gratitude does every single night before I go to bed. Now, I have to take prednisone, y'all, for all my autoimmunes. I hate taking it, but it, it animates me. So, and this year we're hoping to get me off of that. But so when I go to bed at night, and I'm already this way anyway, my mind just goes a million miles an hour. I've always been that way. And I'm not on prednisone every day or every week or every month. But when I am, it's much harder for me to fall asleep. Plus, I'm Southern and I drink 5.5 gallons of iced tea a day. That doesn't help. But I can tell you what knocks me right out. I just lay in quiet. I relax my whole body, and I just go through all the things that I'm grateful for. Um, and and we always talk about appreciating the little things, but it really is not. They're really not little things. Nothing we experience is a little thing. So, for instance, I had to break down, y'all, and go to McDonald's and get myself a ice cream cone yesterday. Thank God they're small. Um, thank God they're small. But I went yesterday. That was my celebration to me about the Kickstarter. And when I was laying in bed last night, and when it chimed 11:11, and I saw that number, 319, almost $50,000, you can bet that I gave thanks for that ice cream. You know why? because there are a lot of people in this country that can't afford that $1.15 at McDonald's that's got to go to real food, or it's got to go to something else, but they just don't have the money. And there are people in other countries that don't have the money or access to clean water or to food. So you know what? What wouldn't have seemed like a big deal, you darn tootin' Skippy, that I gave thanks for that ice cream cone yesterday. And where I'm going with all of this is for the sleep thing. Once I get to the sixth or seventh thing, and I totally get that it might be a way I've conditioned myself. I get that. But okay, I'm all right with that. I could be Pavlov's dog. I can totally be Pavlov's dog and be very happy and grateful for it. But by the time I get to the sixth, seventh, maybe even eighth thing, I'm out like a light. So to all 319 plus a couple dozen of my spirit animals this morning, I offer you such gratitude and such thanks. And I really hope that you will do, a gratitude something, look in the mirror and appreciate yourself, journal. Maybe you want to pay a visit to somebody. I frequently will just send people random stuff, just because I appreciate them in that moment. And maybe you find a gratitude buddy. Maybe you're going through a tough time and you can't really just at this moment really muster up the energy to see, or maybe you can't get the mud out of your eyes long enough to see all the things that you can be grateful for, and maybe someone else's perspective will help you. So I love you all very much. Thank you for everything you do for me. And if you'll just notice that at the beginning, I've started calling y'all the wild pack now instead of the wild ones, because we're not one. We are individual, but we really are a wild pack. And I'm very grateful to be a part of your pack. So I hope you have a beautiful Sunday. I want you to be good to animals, including yourself. And above all, what's important? To stay wild.